Moving on, a video trended on social media a few days ago where Kenya's president poked fun at Nigeria. In the trending video, he said that Kenyans speak better English than Nigerians and that you need an interpreter to understand when a Nigerian speaks English. Well, at the ongoing Kenyan Mining Investment Conference and Exhibition, Nigeria's Minister of Solid Minerals Development and Chairman of the Africa Minerals Strategy Group, Dele Alake, wasn't going to let the opportunity of a response slide at this event. Mr. Alake told President Ruto, who was sitting right there in front of him, that he's assuring the Kenyan president and people that Nigerians speak impeccable English. And after this, the hall exploded into laughter. And the Kenyan Minister of Mines, Ali Joho, gave credence to Dele's assertion. He stated that Nigerians speak such good English that actually one Nigerian used good English to gain President Ruto's daughter's hand in marriage. Not to be outdone, President Ruto then jumped on stage for round 2, keeping this banter alive. And by the end of this exchange, the entire conference hall at this mining event in Nairobi was in absolute stitches. And it sort of felt like a friendly roast between two heavyweight speakers. Have a look at this.
And the people of Nigeria mandated me to inform you and assure you that Nigerians speak good English.
I was captured, I was speaking to my fellow citizens somewhere, and somebody, it was supposed to be a private conversation, but somebody decided that it should be public. But they also misrepresented the facts. The facts are that I was talking about how we in Africa speak very good English, all of us. In fact, in some countries like Nigeria, if you don't speak excellent English, like the one we speak in Kenya, you may need a translator, you know, for you to understand the excellent English of Nigeria. So that was the comparison, but somebody decided to take it out of context. But I think it is as well that we can have this conversation. And my in-laws, I hope there will be no consequences.
Now, what many people don't know is that Kenya's president is actually our in-law. A Nigerian law professor, Dr. Alexander Ezenagu, came to Kenya some years ago, spoke excellent English, and then took President Ruto's eldest daughter, June Ruto, and brought her to Nigeria. And she now speaks very good English, I must add. Anyway, dear President Ruto, our beloved in-law, we want you to know that your apology has been accepted. And you're right, we do speak impeccable English. Let's have a look at social media. JFFK says, a solid, light-hearted reply you could post. Classic African leaders banter. Minister Alake came prepared. He said Nigerians speak good English, oh, and Ruto tried to clarify, but ended up calling us his in-laws. Niger, no, they carry last. Now, team, I must admit that this exchange between Alake and President Ruto, Mr. Alake, is very, very welcome. I must admit, though, that even myself last week, when I saw the video of William Ruto and we discussed it on Trending Now, I believe that he was implying that Nigerians didn't speak good English. Come to find out, he was saying that we speak such good English and we use such, heavy and loaded and ambidextrous grammar that, we need an interpreter because we're that smart. I always tell people, Ria, I speak 2 languages, English and impeccable English.
And on that note, on this very auspicious show, we just want to say, I'm trying to speak the English. Well, this is such a beautiful conversation, Olamide. I'm really happy that you brought it. At the end of the day, it's all banter. We are one. Nigeria, Kenya, South Africa, we love each other. Africa is one at the end of the day. And I love the fact that we are his in-laws, actually. So it's a beautiful thing to see that the good English of that young man was able to bring a very beautiful, Kenyan princess to Nigeria. We love it. And, we accept, our president of Kenya. I love the fact that, Dele Alake did that as well. It's just beautiful to see that we know they carry last at the end of the day. Nigeria still stands strong. This is a very beautiful one.
Well, there is no disputing the fact that Nigeria is a giant of Africa in all ramifications. We could have just deployed Patrick Obayagbon, to the Kenyan president, and then we'll see whether he will be able to make meaning of what he says, because he uses very big jaw-breaking words. But then because we are modest, we decide to okay, just let us go at it slowly. But one thing is, I love the banter. I love the fact that the president, recapitulated, but still went ahead to say that, the kind of English that they speak in Kenya. Well, sometimes when I speak to my Kenyan friends, I find it difficult to even hear what they say sometimes because of the accent. But it's so beautiful. Let's elevate our own national languages. Let's elevate our own, African languages. At least the UNESCO, which recognizes Kiswahili as the most spoken language in East Africa. We had African leaders who were saying that let's adopt this as an African language, spoken in Kenya, spoken in Uganda, spoken in Democratic Republic of Congo. But maybe because it's not spoken in Nigeria, that's why it's facing that kind of hurdle. But let's elevate our own African languages much more than the colonial language that was used to oppress us.
And I'm really hoping that the people who used the moment last week to insult Nigeria will also engage with this post and this news just as actively. Thank you so much.
At least our jollof rice is best.
Thank you so much for your input, team. Moving on into the world of aviation, air travelers are expressing anger this morning following a sharp increase in parking tariffs at the Murtala Mohammed Airport Terminal 2. Operated by Courtney Aviation Services. Now, these new rates, which took effect in April earlier this month, have risen by more than 150% across categories, with sedan cars now paying 3,500 for the first hour of parking. SUVs are paying 4,000 naira, and buses are paying as high as 20,000 naira for an hour of parking. But it's really the overnight charges that are drawing the most reaction. Parking now costs 50,000 naira per night, up from 6,000 naira, which is a jump that many passengers are calling excessive, especially in the current economic climate. Well, reality TV star White Money has added fuel to this conversation after revealing that he was billed over 200,000 naira for parking his car for just a few days. And this did spark a lot of widespread debate online. Have a look at this.
Guys, the worst thing just happened to me now. I didn't know they've increased the price to 50,000. Guys, guess how much I'm about to pay? 206,000. Parking my car from Friday to today, Monday.
They will collect 5,000. Please, the government should look into this. Government should look into this. This is too crazy. It is too crazy. The money they want to collect from me, I don't know even if I have up to level 5. Please.
Operators say that this increase is aimed at reducing congestion and funding infrastructure upgrade. Well, with calls now reaching the aviation minister, Festus Keyamo, attention is turning to whether regulators will step in or allow market forces to take their course. Let's have a look at what you had to say about this. Aramide says the payment is justifiable, but the outrageous amount common. How do you charge 50,000 naira for overnight parking? Sell flight tickets for crazy prices, and I hear you even have to pay for carts. It doesn't seem right, and it feels like they're only trying to extort money. Ajanaku says, why you carry your cargo airport, leave in the first place? Who doesn't like convenience? If it's affordable, everybody that has a car will be parking it there. The price is to discourage us from parking. And finally, Abimbola says, parking fees are paid in airports all over the world. Intelligent people avoid it by taking taxis, or their driver drops them off in the airport and turns back immediately. Now, show off if they do. She's referring to White Money there. Team, very interesting. Earlier on the show, we discussed the price of Jet A1 fuel and its effects on the aviation industry. So not only are we facing, exorbitant price hikes because of the price of Jet A1 fuel, we now have to, on ground, also pay for expensive parking. Many Nigerians feel as though it's not taking our current economic reality into consideration, Ria.
Olamide, it's a very dicey issue. First off, I'll start, with the fuel. Oftentimes, I feel like in Nigeria, we are always blaming, rather than looking at what the real issue is. And that made our conversation this morning where we were talking about the fact that it's really important the federal government steps into it instead of enough blaming on the airlines. But now let me go to this parking. I'm sorry, but I do not understand why people park in the airport. Maybe I may be wrong, but I'm like, why don't your driver drops you or use an Uber or use something? Because it's expensive everywhere, even in Ghana, in Togo, everywhere in the world, you pay for parking. Let's not forget that that place you're parking to, they need to take care of it. If that place doesn't look good, you come back and your car is destroyed. So yes, I understand the economic hardships in Nigeria, but we also need to understand that money is needed to take care of places. So if you cannot afford it, why don't you park at home or let somebody drop you? If you can afford it, oh well, go ahead and do it. But you cannot tell me that you don't know that they are paying anywhere in the world, even in America, you pay to park. So I feel like we also have to be easy. Yes, we understand the economic hardship. I'm not trying to rule that out, but let's also understand that, you know, these businesses as well, they need money to run. Olamide, I tell you, if that place was free of charge, you will see every car parked there, that the go slow will be there, cars will be hitting each other. So I feel like the money as well is to regulate it, to say that, you know what, if you cannot afford it, nobody is forcing you to park your car there. Me, I cannot afford it. I use Uber to go to the airport and come back. So I think that we should just be easy on ourselves and the government as well, if you ask me.
I think you actually, hit the nail on the head, because not that they are not aware that that they pay for parking. They are aware, but they're only talking about the exorbitant price. But if you ask me, as Ria said, if you go to the United States, it's very expensive. In the UK, UAE is even more expensive, over 200 pounds, for you to, dollars rather, for you to park your car at the airport. Even along the UK roads and all of that, places that are free, cars are not even allowed to park for free. You park and pay. I've got friends who come over to my place and be looking around. I say, this place is free. Why don't you just park? Everywhere is quiet. They say, no, don't you see 70 pounds? I have to pay for it. I'll be like, come on, who is sleeping here? But these are the things. They're trying to reduce carbon emission. They are getting money for the government in order to maintain these facilities. But at the end of the day, let's see how we can, understand ourselves. Let's see how we can make it easy, because, we can't be hit from left, right, and center, paying exorbitant fees and all of that. But we need to also be very, very responsive and responsible in using our cars and our other mobile vehicles.
Now, the major service providers of to the MMA2, the parking lot and other facilities, is by Courtney Aviation Services Limited. And I actually spoke to somebody there, and she told me that for the longest time they've been pushing against this increase. But with rising costs, even on them, they are struggling to maintain this subsidy for us while still running their operations. So it's very interesting to take steam. Thank you so much.
All right.
Moving on here on the TV.